Call this meeting, West Burlington City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Crowner.
Here.
Raleigh.
Here.
Heitmeyer.
Here.
Lees. Here. Waterman.
Here.
Okay, we need to perfect and approve the agenda.
So move. Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Heitmeyer.
Aye.
Lees. Aye. Waterman.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Motion approved is presented.
Support.
Motion with support to approve consent agenda items 1 through 15, which are the minutes from the regular city council meeting on November 1st, 2017. Approve a liquor license renewal for Westland Fast Break. Approve a liquor license renewal for Highway 34 Truck Stop. Approve payment to Great River Business Health for the city's wellness program. Approve payment to Traffic and Transportation Products for parts. Approve payment to Municipal Supply for parts. Approve payment to Moyne County Regional Waste Commission for waste management fees. Approve payment to Mershman Fertilizer for ice melt. Approve payment to Norms Kester Electric for repair services. Approve payment to Burlington Municipal Water Works for water. Approve annual contribution payment to Southeast Iowa Regional Airport Authority. Approve payment to CPA Associates for auditing services. Approve payment to McGuire Iron for water tower painting. Approve the clerk's financial report for September 2017. And approve the claims list as presented in the amount of $1,081,269.41. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heitmeyer.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Motion carried. Staff reports. Dan.
I've tentatively have our goal setting session that we do every other year scheduled for January 10th. Let me know if for some reason that doesn't work for you. I'll be sending out the materials for you to fill out, and they need to be back to me by December 13th. And Al and Royce, you haven't done this before, so if you have any questions, come and see me about it.
Okay.
It should be pretty self-explanatory, but
Anybody have anything for Dan? All right, Randy's not here. So, Jess, congratulations, Grandpa.
Thank you. Our new pickup for the police department showed up 5 weeks early, so we went out and picked that up today. We'll be working on getting it equipped, waiting for some parts to come in from EAC here in West Burlington, so it should be probably about 4 weeks and it'll be up and on the road going. And that'll replace 2009, I think, Crown Vic that we'll put on Gov Deals and sell it.
Anybody have anything for Jesse? Sean?
The white car's gone. It's been taken over to Schottenkirk's, traded back in. Randy's guys got the stickers off, so I really appreciate, because I know how hard that rear sticker was to get off. And then we did a tour of General Electric last Monday night, which we saw a few things. Jesse and I were both looking at a few different things than what you'd normally look at. I like to look up instead of around and down, and pointed a few things out that they're addressing for the property itself, safety issues. On the building side, met with the city attorney today, went around town and pointed out a few properties that we're working on, one that we have some court coming up on shortly, and getting a few issues addressed so he's got a better grasp on what actually he's getting into. Besides just being sent pictures, this puts it a little more into perspective on what we're actually trying to get accomplished. Other than that, just a few more projects going on, some nuisance abatement. Letters were sent out on some shingles that are on some property that haven't been picked up, and along with some other things here in town.
Anybody have anything for Sean? Kelly, you got anything going on? Leslie? Rod, you got anything going on?
I don't, sir. Thank you.
Rick?
No, sir.
Royce? Grace?
No.
Al?
I'm good.
All right. Chelsea, you're up. Community report on the Convention Visitors Bureau fall report.
Hello, everyone. Chelsea LaRude, Executive Director of Greater Burlington Convention and Visitors Bureau. Might notice a new last name. I did get married a month ago, so if you've got emails from me, not a new person in position, just a new name, so try to avoid that confusion there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I am here to...
To Diane?
Diane's grandma, yes.
She's your husband's grandma?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As Hans said, here to just give you the twice-a-year fall update of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just want to share some of the things that we've been up to at the CVB this year, and then some of our ideas that we have already starting to plan for 2018. As hopefully you remember, Snake Alley was selected as the cover of the state's travel guide this year, so we've been able to have 12 months being shared all across the nation, foreign countries. We had almost 12,000 votes. It was a popular vote and 43% of the votes were for Snake Alley, so that was a true community effort to vote that in. We just gave up that honor to Manchester's Whitewater Park, so they'll get to take over the reins in 2018, but it's been fun for us to have that this year. Early this year, we did complete a remodel at the Port of Burlington Welcome Center. It was about an $80,000 project. The top two photos are the before pictures, and the bottom two photos are the after. So you can tell there is quite a bit of a drastic change in there. Modern, much more updated, modern feel, brand new display cases, easily accessible. So that's been fun for us to design basically a brand new space. There is also an opportunity for businesses to purchase a display case of the month in there and have some promotional opportunities. So we're working on expanding those areas within the Welcome Center. In March, we did sign contracts for the Greater Burlington Destination Fee. We have 7 of our larger properties in the community that have signed on to this. It is a voluntary fee that they are adding to guest hotel bills, 1.65% per room per night. And these dollars are being collected to a separate line item within the CVB that will go to help support the 2 indoor sports complexes that are being built and proposed here for the community. They will help support with the operational fees of those complexes and a tournament incentive marketing fund. We have spent a little bit of those dollars. We sent a representative earlier this year to a sports trade show. He had the opportunity to sit down with a number of these event organizers, event promoters, and brought back a lot of really great information for us. We're learning that a lot of these youth sports cost a lot of money, so it was a very good move for us to start collecting these funds already so we can try to get the complexes filled from the beginning and have some of these dollars to support that. So we're moving forward with that. We have ran into a few hiccups. Every property is overseen by a different brand. Every brand operates a little bit differently. So we're still working through all of those kinks. And once we have those kinks worked through, we'll go back to the other properties in the community that have not signed on yet and approach them and work with them. We have started conversations with the new owners at American and working with him to encourage him to join on as well. Fireball Run was a big focus of the CVB for 2017, and overall I would say wow, and it was a great day. It was great to see so much of the community come out and support Fireball Run, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I know the kids in the West Burlington Tag Program had a lot of fun following Mayor McCampbell and Chad Palmer, Team Burlington, throughout their experience and helping them solve their clues. And they got to be down there that day along with the cheerleaders, and I think it was just a really good experience for everybody. As you know, also, every team within Fireball Run was assigned a missing child, and Team Burlington was assigned Erin Pospisil from Cedar Rapids, who went missing in 2001. So Chad and Shane advocated for her the entire 8 days, and it was an honor for us to be able to host her grandfather here with the Wednesday morning start line to learn more of Erin's story. She got to meet the community, meet Chad and Shane, and it was just really neat for him to experience that. And unfortunately, we didn't gain any leads on Erin, but we're not going to stop. We're going to keep spreading her message and spreading her name, and hopefully someday we can help bring her home. But the good news with that is 2 of the teams did find leads on 2 different children. So Fireball Run is working on bringing home their 51st and 52nd child because of this experience. We did have to keep it pretty close-lipped before the show, so I will share with you the local missions that got to be included. Weingard facility was included. They got to take part in 4 different steps of the production process, stamping out an antenna and getting it boxed. They got to go to Trailways. Some of the teams were in the bus driver simulator, and some of the teams had to complete maintenance tasks, either changing the oil, changing the tire, or changing the brakes. So that'll be fun to watch that. Some of the teams were at Fun City, in the arcade, the water park, or the go-karts. Kenny's Roller Ranch, they had to make baskets at bank shot, and if they missed, they had to make up their time on the rink with the roller derby girls. They were at the Welcome Center with the large geode, of course, Snake Alley. 3 different missions within the Heritage Center, and it was kind of fun for me to hear about. They had to sing parts of Fly Me to the Moon with the original lyrics in front of a local judge and get scored that way. And then they were also at the Phelps House with a couple missions. And with that day, we also were able to host Ripley's Believe It or Not in town, and truly that experience would not have been possible without our relationship with Fireball Run and them helping to forge that. Ripley's is getting ready to celebrate their 100th anniversary in 2019, so they are going to be selecting 100 locations across the United States for their Odd Spots Across America campaign, and Snake Alley has been selected as number 1. So the theory we've kind of taken is if people are really into Ripley's campaigns and they're going to go out and see them, they might skip 35, 40, somewhere in the middle, but they'll never skip number 1. So that'll be fun for us to continue that relationship with Ripley's. They're now putting their marketing materials together and getting ready to kick off their campaign. And then the task within our office is, Fireball Run and Ripley's, those were great days, but we can't leave them at that. There's huge opportunity left for our community to continue to promote that and to continue to draw visitors to the area because of those 2 experiences we got to have. And so we are brainstorming how can we continue these marketing efforts and leverage that for the best of the community moving forward. Just this week, we did receive our new economic impact visitor expenditure numbers, and as a reminder, these numbers are a year behind, and this study is put together by the state of Iowa, and they work with the U.S. Travel Association. In 2016, visitor expenditures did peak or top out over $136 million. Tourism in Des Moines County supports over 1,000 jobs and brings in over $9 million in state and local taxes. So 2016 was still a great year for us, and Des Moines County continues to rank 13th out of the 99 counties across Iowa. In 2017, the CVB did have a direct hand in helping bring in almost 47,000 visitors, and these are visitors that we support either through grant opportunities to the event. We might have helped write the bid proposal to solicit the event to the community, provide welcome bags, materials, things like that. And we know these visitors stay an average of 1.4 days, which generates over 4,500 hotel rooms with an estimated economic impact of about $6.3 million. We have mailed out over 3,700 guides this year, and these mailings are through our direct request. So people that have seen our ad placement somewhere are specifically asking for more information about the greater Burlington area. And these guides have been mailed to all 50 states plus Washington, D.C., and 25 different countries. So we know we're definitely spreading the message nationwide. We've had over 11,000 visitors at the Welcome Center, and we're pretty close to hitting all 50 states this year at the Welcome Center as well, plus a number of countries. And over 21,000 page views on our digital community guide, with some of the top communities viewing that guide, including Davenport, Cedar Rapids, Texas, and Crystal Lake, Illinois. So that helps us determine some of our target markets for our marketing placements. As you may be aware, hotel motel occupancy, this is data through September, and you want to look at the far turquoise bar for 2017 numbers. We have seen a drop in occupancy of about 18% year over year 2016. We know a lot of this is due to the unnatural inflation we've had in the community the last couple of years because of Iowa Fertilizer and some of the other construction projects in the area, but still not a number we like to see. So we're trying to be strategic here and how do we move forward. Same story with the revenue per room, dollars that the hotels are collecting, and that's down about 15% as well. So with that transitions into what's the CVB going to do about this? We have had our first meeting with our destination fee partners and our hotel industry, and they're feeling this drop a little bit. We knew the drop was going to be coming, but we didn't really know to what extent or how fast, when, any of that. And so the hotel industry has kind of tasked us with, looking at this strategically, kind of what can the CVB do to help bring those numbers back up. We know as a community that the youth sports market has been very successful for us. We know that Outdoor Recplex brings many, many visitors to the community every summer, and with the potential visitors that we can have with the 2 indoor complexes coming on here very soon, that market could be huge. And so our office is looking at potentially hiring a market study to be done to kind of determine what the market saturation rate is. We know there are a lot of complexes around us as well, so what can we do to make our marketing a little bit different, maybe community packages that we could put together to help recruit those teams and their families to our area and encourage them to stay a little bit extra long past the tournament. There is a potential for maybe a housing bureau where making a centralized location for these teams to do all of their bookings, create an easier room block system. Just what can we do to make it easier for the teams coming to the area? An aggressive marketing strategy, maybe it's a direct sales position or approach, going to more trade shows, going to more specific sports related trade shows, and having those conversations with recruiting some more regional level style events to the area as well. And then, we're not event organizers, event promoters for these youth sports, so working with the local organizations that are hosting these events and learning from them, and maybe there's some services that the CVB can add to our plate that can help make them more successful. So 2018 will be a year of learning and a year of maybe re-strategizing a little bit to just help better the community all around. So that's kind of an update that we've got. What questions can I answer for you all?
Any questions? When will this season's Fireball Run be aired?
The video will be in production for about a year now, and so it'll be released next September, and we're trying to think of how we can throw a big party, kind of red carpet style, get the community back out and bring everybody's excitement back together for that release.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
This time I'll open the floor up to anyone wishing to address the council on matters that are not on the agenda. Yeah, we'll go to new business. Item number 1 is consider payment to Leander Construction for work completed on the wastewater treatment plant project in the amount of $728,563.81.
Motion to approve.
Support. Motion with support. Discussion. Roll call.
Highmeyer.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 2 is consider resolution adding Matthew Moeller, Nathaniel Anderson, and James Hale to the volunteer fire department.
Motion to approve.
Support. Motion with support. Any discussion? Any of them here? All right, 2 of them. Want to thank you for wanting to serve.
These guys have been very patient with us. Very patient in the hiring process, so.
Okay, that's good.
Which one's who?
All right. Roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. Item number 3 is to consider approval of the city, state of Iowa financial report for fiscal year 2016-2017.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion?
Those links are backwards. That the first link is hooked to the TIF report, the second link's hooked to the.
Oh, yeah, I seen
Just so
that.
you're aware of it.
The 80 pages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the TIF report.
Yeah. Roll call.
Waterman,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Knightmeyer,
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is consider the approval of the city, state of Iowa TIF report for fiscal year 16-17.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Knightmeyer,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is consider change order number 1 from W.L. Miller Company for the agency Gear Avenue resurfacing project, the amount of $16,830. Matt's here.
So what we have before you tonight is the original project included just the wire loop detectors, which is standard traffic control devices that was on agency beforehand. But given the fact that the budget came in, or the bids came in so low compared to the estimate, Randy would like to install the pod system, which is a puck that gets cored in and it has a wireless receiver to the traffic control panel. It lasts longer and it's more durable than the cameras that you have. They aren't receptive to snow and fog and things like that. So this is the same system that's going in on Broadway with the Broadway project. So he would like to add it to the agency project as well.
So we're still money ahead too.
Correct.
Yeah, quite a bit still.
Quite a bit, yes.
Well, motion approved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion?
Can we have, we'll
I'll
go ahead
have-
and vote, but can we have Matt talk
Yeah,
about?
I'll have
Okay.
Matt give
Thanks.
an update.
Okay, thanks.
Want to do it before we vote or?
No, we can vote, I don't
Okay.
care.
Roll call.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Knightmeyer,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Waterman,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, well, give us an update.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with gear. Today, they finished up the final surface course of asphalt on the east side of Gear Avenue. So tomorrow, they're going to begin doing the concrete box outs of all the manholes, as well as tomorrow afternoon, putting down the striping for the paint lines. So depending upon the weather, Friday, if it rains, they might get delayed till Monday, Tuesday of getting the paint lines finished, but hopefully we'll get that east half wrapped up so it will be open for Thanksgiving weekend and Black Friday. So
What about Broadway?
Broadway, all of the pavement is completed for the phase 1. All the driveways are back in place. The only thing left to do are the intake box outs. Those, I don't know if they'll be in yet this week or the first of next week. The goal is to get the box outs poured. We may have to cone around them so that people don't drive on them, but we will get it open. They are planning on doing the last transition piece, hopefully tomorrow or Friday as well, and that would be all the concrete for phase 1. Four Seasons has started the storm sewer from the south side of agency, and they are working towards the north to get that done. They've got all the utilities exposed. I think there's 3 or 4 fibers, a gas line or 2, and a concrete telephone duct vault. It looks like as of now everything is going to work so we can get that underneath it without having to relocate any of those utilities. So depending upon how quickly working around all those utilities has been a nightmare in that whole intersection and slowed things down drastically. But the hope is that we can get that across and then get it backfilled and poured back with M-Mix. And then we'll see what time they get that done as to whether they advance to the north or if we just shut it down until after Thanksgiving to keep the whole intersection open. We'll just kind of have to play that by ear with the progress.
And right now, it's kind of confusing, the way it's.
Yep, everything on the
set
north
off.
side,
There's
yep.
been a couple of vehicles that are coming out of Walmart's drive, going on to
Agency
going east, and they're not going all the way over.
over
They're staying,
in the first lane.
yeah.
Okay.
And a couple of them are having to make like U-turns in
Yeah.
there.
Where have you been for the last 4 weeks of my life?
And I know I heard from Ritters again today. They were
God.
begging that we have this open by Thanksgiving.
So even if something were to go wrong, last case scenario would be to move the barricades back to right there by the or the Snapple. So at least we can get in, because all the pavement's cured and ready to go. So at least they can get into the Broadway and then get into Ritter's main access. So
Yeah, off of Agency.
off of Agency. Yeah.
I
That'd be a last case scenario.
assured them I'd call them back.
Yep.
I thought that was the plan, but I wanted to hear it tonight.
Nope.
Make sure, but.
So then the last one would be Ruthella is complete. All the driveways are poured. After talking with Randy, Prairie, and Meadow, the contractor wasn't going to be able to get in till today to start removing the pavement. So we decided just to wait till spring to even do that. We didn't want to get it ripped up and then have Thanksgiving come around and things turned really cold. The contractor was okay with that. So we're just going to go ahead and wait till, most likely it'll be April, depending upon the weather and when that'll start. Melville, Kimberly, we kind of ran across a hiccup this morning. That intersection was extremely flat. The contractor came back and pulled off of his blankets, and we've got a big puddle of water stuck. It'd be on the north side of the intersection. We're still trying to figure out what happened, if it was a staking issue, a GPS issue, or a contractor issue. Regardless, it's deep enough. The only thing we can do is rip out a couple of the new panels and replace them. Once we figure out what the cause was, that party will be responsible for paying for the removal and replacement. So the city's not going to be out any additional expenses other than the inconvenience. I have talked with Hickey, and we're going to pour the rest of the concrete with an M-Mix. And what that does is allow us to get on the concrete after 48 hours rather than your typical 7 days. So the goal is the street will be open by Thanksgiving, but the ultimate goal, if the weather would cooperate, is to get all the driveways poured with the N-Mix too, so the people would have access by Thanksgiving for their driveways. So they're going to start doing that work tomorrow.
So we're not gonna be held up trying to decide whose fault it is.
Nope. We're going to move forward because we know it's either going to be Hickey's
heard that.
responsibility
I
or
heard that today.
it'll be our responsibility. Yes.
Okay.
No.
I just didn't want us to get all hung up.
Nope.
Pointing
No.
fingers.
No.
and not
It's
keep working on
due,
the
and
project.
we need to get it open. The goal is by Thanksgiving. With the gas line, they've been out of access for quite a while, so we need to get them back in their driveways. Yep.
So what day can I drive normally to work now? Tell me that again.
May 2nd.
No. I'm gonna go through the barricade. Oh, jeez. And I know this wasn't our project, well, it's some of our project, but on West Burlington Avenue, it was so confusing because one time you go straight, one time you just do a right turn. I'm surprised there hadn't been a collision.
They should be really close to pulling all that stuff off of there.
They had working
You could
lights
drive up
the
and
same-
down it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting close to being wrapped up.
It's like, do I take my chances going down here? Because when you get over the bridge with that light there, that you can either go onto 34. I don't think they had that marked off very well with the cones because I found people in my lane that I could come in across. I'm like,
We heard some of that today, that happened several times.
oh my God.
So gear, you think they're gonna be done latest maybe Tuesday?
Give or take. Yep.
And then we're gonna quit on that and come back next year?
We can reevaluate that again, but given the temperatures we're seeing, with asphalt, it has to be 40 above to pave, and it's looking like the week after is 40, 45, so Randy definitely does not want to proceed anymore
On gear.
on Gear or Broadway.
Well, we'll talk
I
about
think
that
that
one
was
next.
the
Okay.
consensus
Yep.
last.
Yeah,
So on gear, they should be done with those 2 lanes Tuesday.
Tuesday, yep.
Okay. And then we're gonna stop for now.
The only other thing Randy would like to be done is there's a strip on Mount Pleasant, the gutter of Mount Pleasant and Gear where it meets. It's really rough and really cobbled up. He would like to see that milled out and just replaced with a surface patch. So that might be occurring after Thanksgiving, but that would be a simple, it'd take a couple hours.
Now, the gap between the new and the old on Gear, on the asphalt.
Okay.
How big of a gap is there?
There isn't a gap.
Isn't it? They
No.
poured right
They poured right up to it.
to it?
And we ended up there was a gap between the concrete, where the concrete patches were. We just had them put asphalt in there. There's about, I think, a 12-inch gap, 12 to 18-inch. So that's asphalted over as well. So there is no gap between the two.
Okay, so now then go to Broadway. And we're not quite sure, but you're saying by Thanksgiving it'll be open. What about the second phase of that
The
project?
second phase, it's the same situation. Obviously, with concrete, you can go from, you get a little more flexibility. You can go down to 34 degrees in rising. Ultimately, I guess that's your decision whether to take the risk. The last thing the contractor or us or you want is to move forward with phase 2 and have it snow and turn cold and to be stuck. That would affect the church, Trailways to South Drive, and the pawn shop. The pawn shop would have to go in through Ritter's.
Oh, it'd break my heart for the pawn shop.
During that phase 2 project, the buses are gonna be able to get in and out on that street somehow?
The buses, we have to put some temporary concrete down so that they can come out of the entrance they use now, and then turn north into their old entrance. And then they'll turn on to Broadway, go north, and then go Van Wees over to West Burlington Avenue.
Okay, because we was talking about that 2 weeks ago, and we couldn't quite figure out
Yep.
how
Nope.
we was gonna.
Yep. There'll be some temporary concrete going down.
Okay. All right, sir.
Anything
And then,
else?
well, one more thing, then, and then we talked 2 weeks ago about if we stop that project and start it again, when we're gonna start it again. And again, Mr. Ritter has begged, pleaded, and cried, not to start it right away in the spring.
Okay.
And so, I'm thinking we're all, you know, you and.
I don't think it matters to us. It's,
I don't think we care, but it might matter to the contractor, and I think you and Matt and the contractor are gonna have to sit down
Down.
and talk about that.
Okay. Is there a time, I guess, I would think the most of Ritter's traffic comes from agency, but I understand the point behind that. So maybe we can.
April or May is what,
I forget the months he talked, I know he talked to me.
most
in-
of their
in-
business is in March, April, and May, they said. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but they'd have access off of agency then.
Yeah, they would.
Yep.
They would.
It really wouldn't matter. I mean,
Well,
Well, it does to them.
I tried to preach that story that 85% of his business has gotta be coming in from that way and not from us 2,700 people that are living here in West Burlington, but I get it, and, you know, so I just think that that conference needs to go on between,
Yeah,
Yeah, if
absolutely.
the contractor can do it, I don't think it matters to us if we. when
that's
we
all
do
I'm
it.
saying. We owe it to them to you guys to get together and talk about it, see what the deal is, see if it's possible. If it's gonna be a lot more money, we may say obviously we don't wanna do it. You know, price of cement go up and blah, blah, blah. But anyhow, I just wanna make sure that you all get together and talk about it. Thanks, I'm done.
Okay, anybody else? Thanks, Matt.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody have any old business? One more chance for anybody to stand up and
Be
ask
counted.
council anything that we did discuss or didn't discuss tonight. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.